The truth is, Juice Wrld managed to accomplish his dream of being a rap superstar before his untimely passing. He had gained one of hip-hop's strongest followings that hasn't been seen in a while. His fans could not get enough of him, and Juice Wrld was surely on his way to being the biggest name in the industry. We all heard how Juice sadly passed away, but if you're anything like me, you question the validity of what we were told. I have come to believe that something truly sinister has happened to Juice Wrld. Join me in this episode as we uncover the dark truth about Juice Wrld. Juice Wrld was born December 2nd, 1998 in Chicago, Illinois. He grew up in the suburbs of South Chicago in the area of Claymore Park and later in the Homewood area. He was raised in a single-parent household, being raised by his mother after his parents got a divorce when Juice Wrld was only 3 years old. Juice Wrld's mother was religious and tried her best to keep Juice Wrld away from listening to hip-hop, so Juice Wrld listened to a lot of rock and roll and pop music. When Juice Wrld was in 6th grade, he started drinking lean after listening to Future and being inspired by the lyrics from the song Dirty Sprite. And by 2013, he was developing a serious drug problem, taking Xanax and Percocets on the regular. Juice Wrld attended Flossmoor High School, and during his sophomore year of high school, he started rapping and recording songs, going on to post them on SoundCloud. Soon after posting a few tracks on SoundCloud, he would be discovered by Nick Mira, who is a hip-hop producer and part of the producer collective Internet Money. Nick and a few other producers from Internet Money would take on the task of helping Juice Wrld, who was going by the name Juice the Kid, find his sound and his image. Internet Money quickly got to work on Juice. They changed his name to Juice Wrld and helped him produce his first debut mixtape, 999, which they released on June 15, 2017. This project contained the hit song that would change Juice Wrld's life, Lucid Dreams. Lucid Dreams quickly gained tons of attention and put some important eyes on Juice Wrld, specifically that of Little Bibby's brother, who quickly rushed and showed Bibby. This led Little Bibby to essentially steal Juice Wrld from the Internet Money team. Juice Wrld ended up signing to Little Bibby, and they quickly got to work on a 3-song EP, which they would release in December of 2017. The EP contained Juice Wrld's hit song, All Girls Are the Same, which went 4 times platinum and certified Juice's presence in the industry. Juice Wrld would go on to show tons of promise of being one of the top names in the industry before his tragic passing. This is what you may already know about Juice Wrld, but the truth is much more sinister than this. I have come to the conclusion that Juice Wrld made a deal with the devil in order to make it in the industry, that he was willing to sell his soul in order to be the superstar he was. The reason I have come to this conclusion is no other than Juice Wrld himself. The lyrics in his music, alongside with the imagery in his music videos, paints a clear picture on what Juice had to do to get his shot. Juice Wrld would normally talk about his deal with the devil within his music. He expressed in many songs that he sold his soul. In his song Love Over There, he raps about selling his soul. In another one of his songs, Empty, Juice raps about having a dark hole where his soul is. Lucifer comes up a lot in his music. He did not really hide it, but just like Lucifer, he denied its existence. For example, there was a video showing G Herbo and Juice Wrld in the middle of nowhere with a ritual fire scene going on behind them. Juice tells the camera that he is about to sell his soul. After this video was released to the public, it got millions of views and a negative response from his fans. Juice Wrld made a post to deny that he sold his soul, calling it a joke, backtracking in order to confuse his fans into thinking otherwise. The thing is, with Juice Wrld's song lyrics, you can clearly see that he sold his soul for fame and fortune. He states it in multiple songs. He used the number 999 as his brand logo, calling it the 999 Club. He stated that this meant that anything negative in your life can be flipped and used to push yourself forward and make your situation better. I again believe that this was him stating his alliance with Lucifer, and at the same time trying to justify his pact and make his situation out to look positive, basically implying that he used the devil to make a better life for himself. It's why he used 999, because it's just 666 flipped. As he explains, he used the evil to make a better life for himself. We saw the same thing done with rapper Trippie Redd. He branded himself with the 666 as well, claiming it had nothing to do with the devil. If you would like to see a full video on Trippie Redd, comment Trippie Redd below. If 200 people comment Trippie Redd, the next video will be about him. Juice Wrld knew what he got himself into, and for his love of music, he was willing to sell his soul. This is an ongoing issue for millions of young teens in urban communities who look up to rappers and dream of one day being able to live that lifestyle. Growing up in the Bronx, I saw firsthand how people lived their lives through these artists, and devoted their entire lives to trying to achieve their dream of making it. The few that devoted the required time and were truly committed are quickly picked up and blinded into selling out. The next thing I would like to talk about was Juice Wrld's purpose in furthering the agenda. If you watch my video on the dark truth about Future, then you learn that Juice Wrld was inspired by Future into sipping lean at the age of 11 or 12. Juice was a product of Future's music that brainwashed him into developing a drug addiction at an early age, something that Juice Wrld would go on to do himself to his own fans. This is the exact same thing Juice Wrld will rap about, successfully spreading the destructive drug addiction agenda to the masses. In almost every Juice Wrld song, you can see Future's influence on Juice. Even though Future has admitted to not really being a drug addict, Juice, on the other hand, embodies being one. Juice Wrld was often seen strung out and drugged out in many interviews and performances. In one of his interviews, he even passes out on the radio host as the radio host was asking him a question. This saddened my heart for two reasons. One, because they kept filming and still showed the footage of him just for views and clout, exposing the true nature of media. And two, because right in front of our eyes, we were seeing the life of a young man being destroyed publicly. Lucifer had a hold on Juice and wasn't going to stop until he collected what he wanted. What makes this worse is that his entire image was formed on a rebellious drug addict who lived life on the edge, making music with the same agenda as Future, passing on the same struggles that he has faced to his young teen audience. The next thing I'd like to talk about is Juice Wrld's death. Juice Wrld would often speak on his own death and his music, implying that it would happen when he was still young. In his song Legends, he stated, "What's a 27 club? We ain't making it past 21. In another one of his songs, with The Weeknd's Smile, he stated, "The devil on his shoulder told him he would die soon." In his music video for his song Black and White, we see him sitting in front of a memorial set up for him, as again if he were dead. What's interesting is this is where he shot the very IG video where he claims he sold his soul. Juice clearly knew his death was approaching. He knew that his deal was expiring. This is also why I believe he rapped about getting his soul back from Lucifer. Just like we saw with XXXTentacion, he no longer wanted to keep up with his side of the deal. Juice Wrld's death came to a surprise to the world, even though he spoke about it so often in his music. I always found his death odd. It never completely added up for me. They stated that Juice Wrld died after swallowing a bunch of pills he had in his pocket after the police raided the private jet he was on when it landed in Chicago. Apparently they said Juice Wrld got scared and swallowed all the pills he had in his pocket because they were raiding the plane. This caused Juice to overdose and shortly died at a hospital. This part specifically never made any sense to me at all. Why would Juice Wrld swallow a bunch of pills? He had his crew with him, and his crew also had tons of drugs on them. Why wouldn't he just give his drugs to his friends or toss them on the ground? It was also reported that the plane he was on contained over 70 pounds of weed, 6 bottles of leans, and 6 firearms. Why would Juice have needed to hide pills when he already had tons of other stuff on the plane that were much worse? This just doesn't add up to me. Usually when a rapper gets pulled over or searched by police, the rapper's entourage would take responsibility of whatever's illegal on the rapper. I believe that something might have happened on that plane that we're not being told. I also found it odd that Juice Wrld reportedly passed away after 3 a.m., the start of the witching hour. When you take all of this under consideration, things start to look a bit suspicious. What really happened to Juice Wrld on that plane? Many people have also noticed that after Juice Wrld's death, his record label has been milking him as much as possible, selling Juice Wrld verses to whoever is willing to pay for them. Grade A Productions, which is led by Lil Bibby, has already released a full album after his death and has plans to release much more music. Lil Bibby himself said on a Vlad interview that Juice Wrld had thousands of unreleased records. Record labels often gain when an artist passes away. The artist's dreams tend to grow extremely, and the artist becomes the hot topic for the moment. This can bring a lot of money to a record label. To me, it's clear that Juice Wrld made a deal for his soul. He was willing to serve an agenda in order to achieve his dreams. He knew he would eventually pay for it with his soul. He spread destructive morals with his music, the same destructive morals that took his life. As we listen to our favorite artists, we must not let them influence our lifestyles. Millions of kids fall victim to this manipulation. They end up living a lifestyle that was designed by sinister people with a dark agenda to kill them and rob them of their souls. We must not fall victim to this system. We must come together and find a way to change things for the better. We must help those who can't see the truth, find the truth. Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon, the link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I would gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.